Hi, welcome to SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is our daily MLB pitching show that we do with Joe Duffy from OffshoreInsiders.com, a guy who's been doing this successfully for almost 30 years and keeps improving year by year, week by week. You never rest on your laurels, right, Joe Duffy?
No, sir. No, sir. I mean, look, granted, I like to brag about 27 years of winning, but the bottom line is how good am I going to be in the future? And as I mentioned yesterday, I just recently was able to acquire, made some trades with some of the sharpest minds out there, got a bunch of brand new systems for our database. And in fact, they gave a couple big underdog winners on Sunday. So we're just continuing to get better and better and better. And that's why I remain at the top of the profession.
All right. Well, one of my systems, which I openly shared with you and everyone else, was bet on Sonny Gray. And in general, that's been great this year. But last start, it was a loser. Sonny Gray finally did have a bad start. The question is he going to have a bad start here? This could be a tough assignment, a day game on the road at Texas. What do we expect from Sonny Gray, Joe Duffy?
Yeah, and Gray entering that allowed no more than 2 runs in 10 of his previous 11. So a lot of times I worry that maybe a stud pitcher, when he's off a bad outing, is going to crash down to earth. But Sonny Gray, although he's only been a stud for the past couple of years, this guy has proven that he is truly the real deal, and he's more than capable of rebounding. But again, he's going against Colby Lewis, who's pitched pretty well, 3-0 with a 2.79 ERA in June. So this is going to be a very low-scoring game, I believe. I know that Sonny Gray is your boy, and he should be, but they don't have the best offense, and Lewis has been pitching pretty well for Texas.
Okay, and then another game which might be low scoring, Milwaukee at home against the Mets. Jacob deGrom against Taylor Jungmann, 2 young guys. Jungmann's is a highly touted youngster who has been effective so far this year, and he'll be at home against the Mets. Not a terribly formidable lineup, and Jacob deGrom has just absolutely been rolling awesome in May and June. What do you expect from this matchup? A pitcher's duel, or do you expect one of these guys to be more likely than the other to have a good game?
Look, much like Sonny Gray, Jacob deGrom has pitched at least long enough to show that he is definitely the real deal. He's very tough to go against at this point. He's pitching very well. If it gets to the point where he's struggling, and then I'll want to read up to see if they're saying that there's something different about his mechanics or there's something off of his fastball. But at this point, deGrom seems to be a guy that you either want to go with, maybe take a long look at the under, but to fade him is pretty tough. And as you said, Jungmann, He's pitched fairly well, but it's only his 4th start, so the jury is a little bit more out on him. But if anything, maybe a little bit towards the under.
Okay, and then Chris Heston's starting, and people love to talk about how a pitcher reacts after pitching a no-hitter. His 2 starts after his no-hitter were just so-so. Here, though, he's going to be back home here for his 3rd start at home, pitcher-friendly park against San Diego. Maybe we get an excellent start from Heston now after 2 just mediocre starts.
And I know that a lot of people that are into the advanced analytics, and I'll admit that a couple years ago, I think I went too deep into that, and I found myself talking myself out of plays and this and that. But people who are into the advanced analytics are really impressed by Heston, as his strikeout-to-walk ratio just seems to be getting a little bit better. So, that's something to consider. I think that can be a little bit overrated, but at this point, if you believe in the advanced analytics, that the best is yet to come for Chris Heston.
Okay, so it sounds like, does that mean you're expecting a good start from him here, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily, because I'm not as much into it as some other people, and Shields has done very well against the Giants, so maybe if he's got a 2-0 record with a .56 ERA and only 2 career starts against the Giants, but that's still pretty good, so maybe the under would be the play.
Okay, and then I want to ask you how you approach a game, Atlanta at Washington. Matt Whistler starting for Atlanta and Joe Ross on the other side. Both these guys, youngsters with great results so far. This is Whistler's 2nd start, Joe Ross's 4th start, and, very, very small sample size for both these guys, but the results have been excellent. When we look at this, with this game, this matchup, how do you approach handicapping something like this? Do you expect both of them to continue the results they've given so far?
Yeah, if that does turn out to be the pitching matchup, when you have 2 young pitchers who have pitched fairly well but really don't have a resume that says to do it, I would lean towards taking a chance and say at least one of these guys is going to get lit up and take a long look at the over, because, again, they don't really have the track records to say that both of them are going to continue to do this. So I think it would be a pretty decent percentage play to bet the over and assume that at least one of these guys will get knocked around.
Really? Okay, so you're expecting one of these guys to regress.
Yes,
okay.
That is correct.
That's all I wanted to make sure we got to for Thursday, June 25th. Is there anything else on this short card that we didn't touch on that you'd like to bring up, Joe?
Well, A.J. Burnett continues to be uncanny, and he's been even more uncanny at home with a 1.27 ERA. And, well, Carlos Frias has struggled for the Dodgers, 0-3 record and a 5.25 ERA in his last 4 starts. So he seems to be pretty good fade material at this point.
Okay, Joe Duffy, OffshoreInsiders.com. Thank you so much. Talk to you again very soon.